Today we're going to make two great Thanksgiving sides. Here's all the ingredients. Well, almost all the ingredients. I do have 3 sweet potatoes in the microwave that I just poked holes through. That's going to save you a ton of time instead of putting them in the oven for 50 minutes. I'll just show you the ingredients one recipe at a time. These are sweet potatoes, and the recipe calls for 3 pounds of sweet potatoes. I have a little bit more than 3 pounds right here, but it'll be fine. We're definitely going to eat it. So we have a half a pound of packed brown sugar. We're going to mix part of it into our mixture, and then we'll put some of it on top. We have a half a cup of milk, 1/4 cup of butter, and then we have 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of pecans. I took a cup before I chopped them, so right now they're chopped, so it might be a little bit different. It's fine, guys. If you want more, just add even more, or if you don't like them, use less. I love the texture, because if you don't put this on there, then you're just eating delicious, but you're eating kind of like just mush the whole time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what mashed potatoes are. And then right here, we have 1.5 cups of these mini marshmallows, and that gives it a nice color on top too. We'll get to this in a second. I'm showing both of them at the same time because we're going to make them both at the same time, and we're going to bake them both at the same time because both of these recipes are for 375 degrees Fahrenheit. That being said, you know, on Thanksgiving when you have 7, 8, maybe you're adventurous and doing 12 dishes, you don't have to bake everything at what the exact recipe calls for online. If it's within 50 degrees, 50 Fahrenheit degrees, just get it in the oven. So here is the baked artichoke hearts with seasoned breadcrumbs. This is probably the most popular recipe on my website. People go crazy over this one. It has all the flavor of a stuffed artichoke, and we've done stuffed artichokes already, but stuffed artichokes are tough. They're a big mess. I feel like I made the video. I feel like the majority of people just watch the video. Part of that is it's hard even to find a good artichoke. So what do? You buy artichoke hearts in the can. They are in citric acid, so they already have kind of a lemony flavor. Can you use frozen? Of course you can. Often the can will say they come in 8 to 10 count, or these were more like 5 to 7. I cut them in half. They're too big. You want everybody to get a little bit. You want to lay these flat in the pan. So for this, we have garlic oil, and that's going to be really nice. It's going to go on the bottom of the pan. It's going to go on top of them. It's good, trust me. And so what we did was we minced about 4 cloves of garlic in a 1/4 cup of olive oil. I just mixed it now, let it sit. I have 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. You can add more lemon if you like, but like I said, these do have lemon in them. Have a half a cup of plain breadcrumbs. Basically, we're making our own seasoned breadcrumbs here. 1/4 cup of fresh minced parsley. We have a half a cup of Parmigiano Reggiano, grated. That's probably a little bit more, but it'll be great. 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, and we have about a half a teaspoon of salt. Oh, and then the last ingredient, which just makes everything better, is white wine. We have a 1/4 cup of dry white wine. If you can't have wine, you can't have alcohol, just omit it. So let's make both of these at the same time and bake them at the same time. I'm just gonna cut off the ends here. The ends always have a little bit of like a fibrous material. You can just kind of split them and peel off your skin. And your skin should come off fairly easily. Don't worry if you don't use all of the potato, like a little bit of the outside fibrous area. Like sometimes you'll have like a piece like this sticking in there, just like that. And then you can just get rid of that. And then we're gonna put these just all in a bowl. I would just cut the potato into like a few pieces, mashed pieces, and just get it right in the bowl. So we got the 1/4 cup or 4 tablespoons of butter, and that's unsalted. I always use unsalted butter. 1 teaspoon of vanilla, the salt, which is 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I think you probably could use more cinnamon too, especially if you like it. This is a half a cup of milk. And then this is a half a cup of packed brown sugar. I'm gonna use about half of it, and I'm just gonna eyeball it. And then I have 2 eggs that are just like this. Don't worry, they're gonna be mixed in right now. So you can like cut this, or you could do it by hand, but if you have one of these, this is the time to use it. I'm gonna turn it on low speed. And I just wanna mix this until it's fairly blended. You're not gonna be able to get rid of every single clump. And by the way, those eggs are for binding it. So what that does is, if I don't put the eggs in, you're essentially just gonna have like mashed sweet potatoes and then with a topping, which is great, and you could definitely do that. The eggs though will make it more of like stick together, kind of like a casserole. So I'm on like a number 3 out of 5 on this thing. Just make sure you keep it down in there. Do not lift it out or it will go everywhere. Yeah, and sometimes you just gotta turn it off and just Mix those sides in before you start it up again. I think that's smooth enough, right? Wouldn't you say? I get rid of these. Oh. Yeah, you can tell, exactly. I'm a pro, I use that all the time. So, you know, I made another mistake here. You should beat your sweet potatoes together before you put your eggs in, and then you should taste it. And then you can adjust your vanilla, your cinnamon, and all that. Or you can be dangerous and you can do it right now. But I don't need to do that because every recipe I've ever made on this channel has been perfect. Every single one. I don't have to make any changes or second guesses. So I'm gonna put in half of the pecans right now. Okay. This is so nice and fluffy, right? Look at that, Taryn, it's so good.
That's good.
I can't wait to eat this. Oh man, I made a little bit of a mess. Okay, I am taking my folding device. This is what I should have used from the beginning because now you can get every last bit of this delicious sweet potato casserole out. So like a 9x13 would be good. I stole a little bit from there and I put it in another dish for the thumbnail after. So there is actually more than this. So the recipe is a 9x13. It's about 1.5 cups of these. I like to leave a little bit of space in between this. Brown sugar, putting sugar with sugar. Don't worry, the proportions are all correct. And then we're gonna put the pecans. And I just love the texture of this. You can do even more if you want. I think I'm gonna get more from the bag for the other one. So this is gonna be in the oven at 375 degrees, and so is the artichokes that we're gonna make right now. All right, so now we're gonna make the seasoned breadcrumbs. It's really simple. It's just, don't use the garlic oil for this. That's separate. We have a half a cup of plain breadcrumbs, a half teaspoon of salt, half a cup of the grated Parmigiano Reggiano, which looks, maybe that was a little bit more. I'm gonna put in all that parsley, which was a quarter cup minced. So 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and then a quarter cup of white wine. This is gonna moisten up the breadcrumbs enough so we can sprinkle them on top. 4 cloves of garlic with the quarter cup of oil. We have a quarter teaspoon of crushed red pepper, so we're just gonna put that in there and then mix that together. This is like really simple. It's just assembly that we're doing here. So we're gonna mix these breadcrumbs together. It's a delicious filling. You can like stuff mushrooms with something like this. You could put this on a lot of different vegetables and it'll be really good. This is very similar to the flavors that you would get from like a stuffed artichoke at your favorite restaurant. Just mix this together and spoon half of it. Now I have another, I'll just show you. I'm using this one for the thumbnail. So normally you would be doing this in a 9x13 and you would be using exactly half of this, but just take my word for it. All the recipe amounts are correct, and that is just so good. This is like the bottom of it. I find that like when the artichokes sit in it, when it cooks, it makes it better than just putting it on top. Okay, and then these artichokes have been drying off for a while. You're not gonna get all the water off of them. So I'm just gonna take these artichokes and we're just gonna layer them in here. The really large ones I cut into quarters, but most of them I cut into half. I'm just gonna like kind of like stack them on top of each other a little bit, but you could lay them all flat as well. None of it really matters because you just want to get like all of the breadcrumb mixture inside of these leaves here, like on the top. We're gonna put more of that garlic oil, and you know, right in the recipe, I think I put just sprinkle the red pepper on top, but you can mix it right in the oil like I did here. And then the breadcrumbs. 375 degrees Fahrenheit on both of these. They both could be in the middle of the oven. Both of these are gonna be 20 to 25 minutes. They're gonna be fairly brown on top. If you need a little bit more like color on the artichoke hearts, turn your broiler on, raise it to like the second highest level or even the highest level, but really watch it. James is here and Mama, and James just told me that, what did you tell me about sweet potatoes?
Sweet potatoes.
Tell them.
I just heat them.
You have something against them?
Yeah.
All right.
But these have marshmallows.
Well, I'm starting at a deficit, but we'll see what he thinks. This is your fork, James. Mama,
So do
that's
I
your
like
fork.
rate the sweet potatoes and then rate the artichoke hearts, or do I rate it all
Yeah,
together?
you know what? Let's do a separate rating for both. Yeah.
So this is probably gonna get a 1. It's probably gonna get a 10.
Gee, calm down, okay? Go ahead, guys.
Let's get a marshmallow.
And it's gonna be hot, so just, you know, blow on it.
Blow on it, James.
Came right out of the oven. You can see that steam coming out of it. Yeah.
You know, it's actually pretty good. What's on top of it besides the marshmallows?
Brown sugar, pecans,
Okay, that's probably why I like
and marshmallows.
I like the brown sugar.
And then try the other ones too.
It's actually really good.
Nice.
Oh, the artichoke hearts are even better. I always love artichoke hearts.
Do you like them better than a stuffed artichoke because they're easier to eat, or do you like the challenge of a stuffed artichoke heart?
I like both.
All right. Well, let's get the ratings.
Okay, let me just eat all this.
We need to get Sharpies.
Yes, I know.
We apologize for the
Here, do the rating.
difficult
So
to
separately?
read rating system.
Here.
Oh, okay.
So separately?
Yes. I don't give him a Sharpie because I feel like he's gonna miss and write straight on the table, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
Which you just wrote on my hand.
That's why we don't have Sharpies. Okay.
Can I eat this marshmallow?
Yes, of course you can. Look how there's two more things of it. See that little one that we made?
The sweet potatoes get an 8.
Okay.
And the artichokes get like, I'm gonna change this to also an 8 instead of an 8.5 because the artichokes, like, I feel like artichoke hearts should have like a little bit something extra. This just had like breadcrumbs, so like it was like kind of plain.
What's your something extra that you think that they should have?
I'm not sure. I'll be open to try anything.
Okay. Mama?
Okay, I gave the sweet potatoes a 9.5.
Wow.
And I gave the artichoke hearts a 10.
I see a trend here. I get the better ratings from Mama, and then James proceeds to give me a bad rating. Then he also eats the whole dish in front of me after he tells me that it was mediocre.
I like how they're like really creamy.
Listen, bro, you're giving me low ratings every time, and then eating the food, like devouring it.
And didn't you tell me one time that I shouldn't be giving like 10s every?
No, of course I don't. Don't give me a 10. Don't give me a 10 if it's not deserved. Okay, but those sweet potatoes were really good.
Oh no.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next time.
Happy Thanksgiving.